I am sitting on my back porch and it's kind of a mess. And there's the puppies. And there's my attempt at a pretty sitting area so you don't see my generator and my inversion table and my bicycle. And I am so sick of these videos from New Age people, spiritual people who talk to God, who talk to the Galactic Federation, etc., and tell me that the world is ending. I have been in the spiritual woo-woo world since the 70s, since I was probably 19, around First Nation people. We considered their stuff woo-woo, even though it's their culture, and it's not woo-woo, it's their culture. Our stuff is woo-woo, and I don't think any of it is woo-woo either, by the way. But it's considered woo-woo, and there's a lot of ungrounded people. And the world has been ending ever since I have been around psychics and healers and animal communicators. And oh my gosh, well, I can tell you this. The day is also ending. Every day is ending. You're seeing my property, by the way. These are my rundown cages for rescuing raptors, but I don't have any raptors this year. So they're a mess. I'm going to leave them a mess unless I get birds. And there's my outdoor cage for my snake, who is currently napping as usual. Okay, so the world is ending. And some of them go back to the time of the Mayan. That's my swamp coral winterized. Come on, puppies. Really? Since the time of the Mayans? And I should worry about this? Why? There's already enough to worry about, like trafficking, hunger, poverty, birth control, oppression. Need I go on? World War III. Oh my God, the world is ending, the Galactic Federation. So here's my take on it. If you're talking to the Galactic Federation and they have given you a job, do it. Okay. I don't see what kind of job it is to scare people by talking about the end of the world is coming, even though they then tell you how it's not a bad thing and it won't be bad and won't be hard. What I want to know is how to get through the days. I want to know how to live my life, my personal life. I want to know how to enjoy my animals and the beautiful property that I happen to live on in my very conservative community that mostly hates me. That's what I want to do. I want to know how to take care of this body, to make sure that I am not reacting to all the chemicals that are put into our system every single day by the beauty products, the food, etc. that we eat. I want to know how to be nice to my neighbor who treats me like crap. I want to know how to make my dog's life happier. I want to know how to make a living without exploiting people. Why are we focusing on some of that with our gifts? Why don't we have local shaman and medicine people who have regular jobs that, by day they're a social worker and by night and on the weekends they help people for minimal cost or maybe no cost, which is what I used to do when I had a salary. I don't know why we're getting these end of the world messages. Maybe it makes you feel superior. Maybe it takes your mind off of solvable problems that would require you to get off your ass and do something about the shit that you're eating and the horrible products that you're buying, because you're instead worrying about the end of the world where you can't do anything about it. Come on, puppies. I mean, that's a great distraction. And it also gives you a really screwed up nervous system. But here's something to think about. It could be that your nervous system is already screwed up with endocrine disruptors, also known as xenoestrogens, which every single chemical produces, meaning your makeup, your laundry soap, your laundry detergent, your dryer sheet, your fertilizer and pesticides, the food in the meat and vegetables that you eat if you don't eat organic, which some of you can't afford. I understand that. Come on, puppies. All of these things are endocrine disruptors, which means they are mood disruptors. So could it be that your attraction to the end of the world broadcasts and all the woo-woo, ungrounded spiritual stuff is because your nervous system is so messed up already that that's what you find normal? Here's a suggestion. check out the holistic psychologist. Look at her videos. Do what she says. Join her self-healer circle for, I think, $28 a month. But no, you'll have to do some work there instead of sitting around wondering about things. And I don't know how much she emphasizes the influence of chemicals on our nervous system. So here's my thought. Get yourself straight first. Get your nervous system set up. Get yourself regulated. Get your life up and running at least a bit. And then see what happens, who you work with. I was talking about this with a friend the other day, by the way. The hardest thing I've ever done was to be happy. I didn't have any nerve endings for it. I didn't have nerve endings for peacefulness, quiet, good friendship, relaxation, things working out, go with the flow. When I was in deep meditation and spiritual work, that did. Actually, I could do that for long periods of time. But then, as it continued, and the spiritual work got more normalized, it wasn't so energetically consuming because I'm used to doing it. I had to grow neural pathways. I had to learn to regulate my nervous system differently. I had to learn how to be happy. So weird, huh? And I've said this before. I have said to people that the people I have seen have absolute nervous breakdowns. The few, about 4, over 40 years of work. They had them when life got great. Everything was working. And their nervous system collapsed because they didn't know how to deal with everything's working. It wasn't working the way they thought either. They weren't millionaires, married to a Russian oligarch, and flying around the world and, spending billions of dollars on purses. They were having a great life. They were well loved. The work was good. Sometimes they had a relationship, sometimes they didn't. They were eating well. They had free time. Some of them were doing art. Some of them were playing music. Some of them were going out with friends. And they lost their cookies because their nervous system hadn't quite yet caught up with everything's okay right now. There's nothing to work on. There's just time to live. It's hard getting healthy. This is when alcoholics relapse. I heard a great statement. Nobody calls the alcoholic after he or she has gotten sober. While they're struggling, you got all the friends in the world. You're sober? Great. Mission accomplished. See you later. So forget the end of the world. Treat it like it's the end of the day. There'll be another day. If we're eternal souls, there'll be another world. And focus instead on how's the next hour going? How's your next meal? How are your puppies? What are you going to do today that's going to be something you love to do? What are you going to do to take care of your health? How are you going to work hard to make your life a little bit better? That's what I call chop wood, carry water. Because you know what? If the world ends, if the aliens come, whatever, you're still going to have to get up the next day and chop wood and carry water, as the Zen like to say. Do your work, find some fun, let your nervous system grow and change. Work with people who can help you, but don't make them into your master. See you soon.